that we act in a certain way.
This does not mean being a fraud. It's not being a fake. It means walking in the direction of your vision, walking in the direction of your prayer work, walking in the direction of that which you desire to see happen in your life, with the awareness that it's already occurring. Now, if you're walking in the direction of your vision and you're feeling that it's already occurring, there becomes a vibrational match with the universal flux, and lo and behold, you create something out of nothing. This is faith in action. Feeling and sensing that it's already done while you do everything necessary to allow it to manifest in and as your life. Now, Bob Proctor, in session 11, is going to teach you about this in acting in a certain way.
Your feelings cause your actions, and your actions bring about a reaction. It is the action-reaction that alters the conditions, the circumstance, and the environment in your life. Add them together, and that's results. If you want to change your results, you must change your thinking. Do you know that we are the only creature on the planet, so far as we know, that has the ability to think? Thinking is what separates us from all of the rest of the animal kingdom. Thought is the impelling force which causes the creative power to act. Thinking in the certain way will bring riches to you, but you must not rely upon thought alone, paying no attention to personal action. That is the rock upon which many otherwise scientific, metaphysical thinkers meet shipwreck. The failure to connect thought with personal action. We have not yet reached the stage of development in which a person can create directly from the formless substance without nature's processes or the work of the human hands. A person must act as well as think. By thought, you can cause the gold in the hearts of the mountains to be impelled toward you, but it will not mine itself, refine itself, coin itself, and come rolling along the roads into your pocket. Under the impelling force of the supreme power, people's affairs will be so ordered that someone will be led to mine the gold for you, and another person's business transactions will be so directed that the gold will be brought toward you. You must arrange your own business affairs so that you are able to receive it when it comes to you. Your thought makes all things, animate and inanimate, work to bring you what you want. However, your personal activity must be such that you can rightly receive what you want when it reaches you. You are not to take it as charity or steal it. You must give every person more in use value than he gives you in cash value. The scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct mental image of what you want, in holding fast to your purpose to get what you want, and in realizing with grateful faith that you do get what you want. Do not try to project your thought in any mysterious or occult way with the idea of having it go out and do things for you. That is wasted effort and will weaken your power to think with sanity. In the preceding sessions, I fully explained the action of thought in getting rich. You must use your faith and purpose to positively impress your vision upon formless substance, which has the same desire for more life that you have. And this vision, received from you, sets all the creative forces at work in and through the regular channels of action, but directed toward you. It's not your part to guide or supervise the creative process. All you have to do with that is to retain your vision, stick to your purpose, and maintain your faith and gratitude. And the gratitude is the key. Gratitude is faith in action. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about action, acting in a certain way. But you must act in the certain way so that you can appropriate what is yours when it comes to you. so that you can accept the things in your picture and put them in their proper places. You can readily see the truth of this. When things reach you, they will be in the hands of other people who will ask an equivalent for them. You can only get what is yours by giving the other person what is his. Your pocketbook will not become bottomless. It will not always be full of money without effort on your part. Receiving is the crucial point in the science of getting rich, right here where thought and personal action must be combined. I pointed out to you that you should willingly give and gratefully and graciously, I could say, receive. You've got to be open to receive. There are many people who, consciously or unconsciously, set the creative forces in action by the strength and persistence of their desires. However, they remain poor because they do not provide for the reception of the thing they want when it comes. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Whatever your action is to be, it is evident that you must act now. And that is the key, now. Not in the future, not in the past, now. You cannot act in the past. It is essential to the clearness of your mental vision that you dismiss the past from your mind. You cannot act in the future because the future is not here yet. And you cannot tell how you will act in any future contingency until that contingency has arrived. Because you are not in the right business or the right environment now, do not think that you must postpone action until you get into the right business or environment. And do not spend time in the present planning the best course in possible future contingencies. Have faith in your ability to meet any emergency when it arrives. If you act in the present with your mind on the future, your present action will be with a divided mind and will not be effective. Put your whole mind into present action. I was talking to John Wystrom, the gentleman that's producing this, about Rhonda Byrne's film. And we were talking about the perfection of the editing, how everything was brought together. And he said she must have taken a long time, and I said she was actually guided to do it. Her intuitive factor told her when to cut, when to put in, and what not to put in. I have spoken to many professionals in that industry, and they all compliment the work that she has done. The secret is a perfect film, because she did perfect action when she was doing it. Wattles went on to say, you do not give your creative impulse to the original substance and then sit down and wait for results. If you do, you'll never get them. Act now. There is never any time but now, and there never will be any time but now. If you are ever to begin to make ready for the reception of what you want, you must begin now. For years, I have used a sand timer, an hourglass, to illustrate a point. I point out that the sand in the top of the glass represents the future. The sand in the bottom of the glass represents the past. And then I cover the sand in the top of the glass, and I point out you don't know how much sand you have in the top of the glass. And I point to the center, and I say all you ever have is what's here right now, and the now keeps moving. Your actions must be in your present business or employment and must be upon the persons and things in your present environment. You cannot act where you are not. You cannot act where you have been. And you cannot act where you are going to be. You can only act where you are. Now think about this. This is so obvious. And you'll say, yes, that's true. And it is true. Well, why do we spend so much time when we're doing something letting our mind drift into the past? Why, when we're focused on something, do we permit our mind to drift off into the future? Do not dwell on whether yesterday's work was well or poorly done. Do today's work well. Do you know, Robert Russell was asked one time how you become great. He said, there's no secret to become great at anything. He said, do little things in a great way every day. Wattles goes on to say, do not try to do tomorrow's work now. There'll be plenty of time to do that when tomorrow comes. Do not try by occult or mystical means to act on people or things that are out of your reach. Do not wait for a change of environment before you act. Cause a change of environment through your actions. You can act upon your present environment so as to cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment. That's the only way to move ahead. You've got to outgrow where you are. Hold with faith and purpose the vision of yourself in the better environment. But act upon your present environment with all your heart and with all your strength and with all your mind. Do not spend any time in daydreaming or castle building. Hold to the one vision of what you want and act now. Do not cast about seeking some new thing to do or some strange, unusual, or remarkable action to perform as a first step toward getting rich. For some time to come, your actions will probably be the same as those you have been performing. But now you will perform those actions in the certain way, which will surely make you rich. It's not just what you do, it's the thought vibration that you send with it. If you're engaged in some business and feel that it is not the right one for you, do not wait until you get into the right business before you begin to act. Do not feel discouraged or sit down and lament because you are in the wrong place. No person was ever so misplaced that he could not find the right place, and no person was ever so involved in the wrong business that he could not get into the right business. I had a great teacher one time tell me that you're always in the right place for the right reason at the right time. Now, we've discussed that. Everything that has happened, is happening, and is going to happen to you is absolutely essential to make you who you're going to become. And everything that has happened and is happening is essential to make you who you are. And that's preparing you for something big, something bigger than you're now involved in, and you do not know what it is. And the beautiful part about that is we can anticipate something bigger and better coming, but we've got to keep our mind open for it and be ready to receive it. Waddell said, hold the vision of yourself in the right business, with the purpose to get into it and the faith that you will get into it. But act in your present business. Use your present business as the means of getting a better one. And use your present environment as the means of getting into a better one. Your vision of the right business, if held with faith and purpose, will cause the supreme power to move the right business toward you. And your action, if performed in a certain way, will cause you to move toward the business. I want you to expand your mind for a moment and think. I've been teaching for years in seminars now that everything is made from the same stuff. The chair you may be sitting on, the shoes you're wearing, the microphone that I'm speaking into right now, the paper that this is printed on, everything is made from the same formless substance. Remember I was talking about the glass and the water and my hand holding the glass? The hand, the glass, the water. It's all energy. It can all be reduced to a non-physical level. Now, understanding that, and then understanding that absolutely nothing is created or destroyed, then we'll start to grasp that everything's already here. And as we build these thoughts in our mind, we flip our mind on to higher frequencies of thought. And then on that higher frequency, new thoughts will flow to us. That's how we attract it. Earl Nightingale points that out in his Lead the Field program. He said, as you start to move toward your goal, it starts to move toward you. You know, I'll never forget when I first heard that. It was years and years ago. And I thought, what does he mean? You see, I didn't understand the laws. Lloyd Conant had not introduced me to this program for another few years. How does it happen that as you start to move toward your goal starts to move toward you? Well, of course, that's the great secret of life that Rhonda Byrne has exposed to the masses today. It's attraction. As you move into a vibration, the vibration causes you to act. But that vibration also sets up an attractive force and pulls like energy to you. Waddell said, if you're an employee and feel that you must change places in order to get what you want, do not project your thought into space and rely upon it to get you another job. it will probably fail to do so. Hold the vision of yourself in the job you want, while you act with faith and purpose on the job you have, and you will certainly get the job you want. Your vision and faith will set the creative force in motion and bring it toward you, and your action will cause the forces in your own environment to move you toward the place you want. Wattles continues by saying, in closing this session, I will add another statement to our syllabus. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing your thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. In order to do this, you must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. You must form a clear mental picture of the things you want, and you must hold this picture in your thoughts with the fixed purpose to get what you want, and the unwavering faith that you will get what you want, closing your mind to all that may tend to shake your purpose, dim your vision, or quench your faith. That you will receive what you want when it comes to you, you must act now upon the people and things in your present environment. I want to recommend that you memorize Wallace Wattles' syllabus. It is so good, and it encompasses everything that we're learning. I remember Earl Nightingale's specific talent. He was able to take a book and winnow out of it the essence of the book and turn it into a 3 or 4 minute radio show. Well, Wallace Wattles has essentially done the same thing. He's taken all of this phenomenal information and he's reduced it to the syllabus. Now, the more you study all the material in this particular program, the more you're going to understand the syllabus. The more you understand this syllabus, the more you will attract all the good that you want in your life. And that's really what the secret is all about. Let's take a look at the questions that come along with this particular session. They're pretty good. Number 1, why are you not able to get rich by thought without personal action? I think you know that you're not going to be able to, but why aren't you able to? Number 2, what must you do if you are in the wrong business or location? That's a good question. Most people don't know the answer to that. What must you do if you are in the wrong business or location? And finally, number 3, how should an employee proceed to get a better job? It's in this session. Don't just guess at it, know it. Now that you've completed the questions, let's take a look at a couple of the exercises that go along with this session. Wattles points out, it is not your part to guide or supervise the creative process. All you have to do with that is to retain your vision, stick to your purpose, and maintain your faith and gratitude. Now, rather than thinking of how you're going to reach your new position of wealth, think of why. I want you to sit down and write out why you want to become wealthy. That's a healthy exercise for you. Take a pen and a pad and write out why you want to become wealthy. Now, here's the next exercise. Wattles said you can only get what is yours by giving the other person what is theirs. And if you're going to do this properly, you've got to use your imagination. Napoleon Hill said the imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force that the world has ever known. He said, I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. Use that as an affirmation. Repeat that with me right now. This is right out of Think and Grow Rich. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. Now, through the use of your imagination, create 2 ways you will improve your service to others. Napoleon Hill also mentioned that we should develop our intelligent objectivity. We want to stand back and look at what we're doing as a stranger might. Do you know, we do this all the time. If you go into a restaurant and the service just isn't fast enough, we'd say, boy, if I owned this place. Well, you do own your place. Let's look at what you're doing as a stranger might. I play with this exercise all the time myself. If you go back to the section where I talked about multiple sources of income, I suggested that you might write a book, and the book can be out serving thousands of people while you're doing whatever you're doing. There's one way to provide more service. Now you think of another one. This is Bob Proctor.
Hello, this is Jack Canfield. Have you ever met a person who's just plain puzzled? They've read an entire library of books on positive thinking. They've attended numerous seminars, and their car is stacked to the windshield with recorded self-help audio CDs. But they just can't seem to make it work. I'm sure you know people like that. Well, Wallace Wattles points to exactly what the cause of their problem is. It's right at the beginning of this session, acting in the certain way. Wattles said, "Thinking in the certain way will bring riches to you, but you must not rely on thought alone, paying no attention to personal action. This is the rock upon which many otherwise scientific metaphysical thinkers meet shipwreck, the failure to connect thought with personal action." Remember Bob's story about having breakfast one day with Earl Nightingale? Bob explained that he was fascinated with the great volume of business that Earl Nightingale took care of, but even more particularly with the way Earl seemed to move in a calm, confident manner. He never appeared to be rushed. So one day at breakfast, Bob asked Earl how he had mastered time management. Earl laughed and said, "I've never mastered time management. Nobody masters time management. Time can't be managed. I merely manage activities. Each night, I write down on a sheet of paper a list of the things I have to accomplish the next day. And when I wake up, I do them." What a great story Bob shared with us. While it seems like such a ridiculously simple solution, Earl Nightingale was demonstrating the very key to this session. He had learned how to connect powerful thought with powerful personal action. As you're watching the movie The Secret, you must remember that while various speakers are talking about the law of attraction, what always precedes that attraction is action. Without action, there is no attraction. In fact, look at the last 6 letters in the word attraction. They're A-C-T-I-O-N. And what does that spell? Action. Make a decision right now that you will put your list together and that you will act on the list, and only what's on the list the next day. This is the same decision and action I've taken that has helped me earn millions of dollars and has taken me to where I am today. And here's another important point about writing out your list the night before. When you do, your subconscious mind has all night to work on figuring out the best way to make it happen. That's 6 to 8 hours of powerful subconscious problem solving. And guess what? You're also working with the law of attraction in another powerful way. By creating the intention of what you want to accomplish the next day, you're sending out a group email to all the other people involved in your activities on what my friend Bob Scheinfeld calls the internet. Think about it. Every thought you think sends out a wave. And we now have research out there that now proves your thoughts send out waves of energy that can travel as far as 250,000 miles. How do we know that? They take astronauts in outer space and they have them open envelopes at various times that are recorded and predicted, and they have at the same time students down at Duke University close their eyes and they try to pick up what the astronaut is seeing in the envelope. Each of the envelopes contains a different figure. It might be a square, a circle, or a triangle, and they have an uncannily high resolution of these students picking up the exact same image that the astronaut is projecting. So we know that your thoughts can travel all the way around the world. So not only are you affecting other people with those thoughts, drawing them to you so your day will go more easily the way you want. But you're also asking infinite intelligence to orchestrate things for you, to make it all flow easily and effortlessly. So planning the night before, making that list, is activating your subconscious, sending out an email to everyone who's going to be involved in this through the internet, and also invoking infinite intelligence to orchestrate things for you to make it flow more easily and effortlessly. So plan your next day the night before. And one more thing, prioritize your list, and then do the first thing first until you get it done. Then work on the second thing, and so on. If you're always getting the most important things done first, you will ensure your success. Don't do what's easiest, do what's most important. As a final note, I'd like to remind you that your list should be aggressive, but don't try to shove 170 activities into a single day. That won't get you anywhere either. Remember what Wallace Wattles reminds us. He says, your action must be in your present business or employment. It must be upon the persons and things in your present environment. You cannot act where you are not. You cannot act where you have been. And you cannot act where you're going to be. You can only act where you are. Do not dwell on whether yesterday's work was well or poorly done. Do today's work well. Do not try to do tomorrow's work now. There will be plenty of time to do that when tomorrow comes. If you take care of the action, the attraction will always take care of itself.